Hello Nikki, hello Transport Evolved. Thank you very much for your video yesterday. I don't know if you can see, the weather still sucks here. You mentioned the size of the car and whether my buffeting was to do with the fact that the Leaf is the largest car I've ever really driven on a regular basis, and I think you actually might be right there. I really like small cars. I don't need a large car, and therefore I don't want to carry around that extra weight. So that makes a lot of sense to me. The Leaf is also the tallest car I've ever driven by quite a long way, so I imagine it is a factor of that. But as you said, the tyres being neutral rather than toe in or toe out, that's very interesting. We should try and test that one day. Vehicle to grid, that's like the holy grail, or one of the holy grails of EVs, and something we should be working towards. I can see it being an amazing boon for EV sales if we do get into a situation where we have more storms like this, which means more power cuts. The ability to flip a switch and still be able to power your house, to still have heating, to still be able to cook, to feed your children, will be an amazing selling factor for these cars. We just need to work on the actual implementation of it. We know it works from the cars, but our houses aren't set up for it. We need an isolator switch to say, now my house is not connected to the grid, because the last thing you want to be doing is putting power into your house while a man or a woman down the street is operating on wires they think aren't live. Shocking. Shouldn't really make a joke about that. Fox News. Oh, how I love Fox News. But they are a news company. They are a news agency. They are in the area of providing news. Unlike Top Gear, which you also bring up, which is an entertainment show, regardless of what its viewers think, and it's there for the enjoyment of the watchers. The news, I don't think you can argue the news is there for the enjoyment of the viewers. It's there to provide information. But what's interesting, there's no law that says a news company cannot lie. Bonkers. Which is the kind of thing you'd think there'd be a law for. These people are in the business of providing information, but they can willfully lie. Bonkers. It's bonkers. And I'm not talking about changing a story based on political affiliation. We know that happens. Everyone knows that happens. And in fact, you choose your news outlets based upon that to some degree. But Fox News takes that to a different level. They willfully lie. And those examples you put out there, EVs losing half their range, the inverter fluid change, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's the issue, that they can willfully lie to their viewers. And because viewers have chosen that news outlet based upon political affiliation, so it spouts back their own views, they have no reason to distrust it. But they have a lot of reason to distrust people like us who are coming to them saying, this news report is wrong. Because we're the ones then questioning a person in authority. This person has been portrayed as an expert. We had some really interesting comments on Fox News. It seems to have got people riled up, which is really good. Dan on YouTube, it just says here, Fox News actually said that plugging in an electric car would cause divorces. That's another thing that I do or want in my life that causes divorces. I am like divorce central. Some sad news today. Mia, the French manufacturer, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. They're the ones who made that really weird box-looking electric car where the steering wheel and driver's seat was in the middle at the front for some weird reason. It looks like they're heading out of business and going the way of Fisker and Better Place. It's a shame, not because I particularly liked the car. It looked but ugly. Sorry, it really did. It looked like a cross between a delivery van and a bicycle inside a box. Because it seems to suggest that businesses that set themselves up in this eco area are kind of doomed to failure more often than not. And that worries me. Not because I believe it's true, but because I think it's the impression people will get. Every time one of these companies goes out of business or looks like it's going to go out of business, investors get more nervous, which means other businesses won't take the risks needed to push the technology forward. But when we compare this story to success stories like Tesla and what looks like is going to be a huge success, the Formula E racing, which has had lots of funding and investment, I'm hoping that eventually the positives will outweigh the negatives, or the successful companies will outweigh the unsuccessful ones. I wonder if we're seeing the end of these eco-startups. And I think that'd be a shame. I'll let you think over that over the weekend. Companies going out of business. It's a nice cheery thought on Valentine's Day. Sorry about that. Have a lovely weekend, Nikki. Have a lovely weekend, Transport Evolved. Bye-bye.